I think it's pretty safe to say that one of the biggest disappointments of the Star Wars sequel trilogy has all to do with there being no reunion scene between the characters of Luke Skywalker, Leia, and Han Solo. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one of the biggest questions of all going into this film is that J.J. Abrams is, of course, going to be implementing a lot of surprises, twists, and turns into this movie that will also connect to the prequels and the originals, as well as other forms of the Star Wars canon that falls under Disney. So the big question is, of course, exactly how is J.J. Abrams going to be able to do this all in one single film? Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc., one of which has all to do with a reunion scene between both Luke, Leia, and Han Solo. A description of both Han Solo and Leia on board of the Millennium Falcon, entering an unknown world. The Falcon lands in front of a large temple, a Jedi temple that is very similar to the one seen in The Last Jedi. The next goes over a wide shot of the Falcon with both Han, Leia, and a younger Ben Solo by their side, walking down the ramp of the Falcon. A rear shot of Han, Leia, and Ben gives us a clear view of Luke Skywalker walking toward them and accepting Ben to train with him. It's described as a brief flashback sequence involving both Han and Leia dropping off their son to Luke. The last goes over Luke patting Han's shoulder and waving goodbye to Leia, with Luke walking away with Ben, ending with close shots of Leia and Han next to each other, then facing each other with hope. So, to me, this sounds very similar to what we heard about with The Force Awakens. I don't know if you guys remember one of the big leaks out there years and years ago about Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher shooting a scene with Adam Driver, in which they would actually have a scene with Mark Hamill as Luke in Star Wars Episode 7 that would serve as one of the flashback sequences. Now, it's very possible that they actually shot that scene for Episode 7 and never used it in the final cut of the movie, and will be using it for Star Wars Episode 9, and could fully explain here as to exactly how Harrison Ford will be involved with Star Wars Episode 9, while at the same exact time, he's not going to actually be acting in the film, so it's all unused footage essentially. So if we look at Episode 9, that's one of the biggest hopes for sure, is that this movie is really going to stand out from the previous two movies. And I think that if they are to incorporate this into the finalized version of the film, I think that fans are going to go nuts, because that's one thing that a lot of fans have been waiting to see for the longest time. Both Luke, Han, and Leia all together, once again on the big screen. Right? Years after the events of Return of the Jedi. I mean, can you imagine how surreal it would be to actually see this happen on the big screen? So, according to this, alright, what's really interesting is that this all has to do with both Han Solo and Leia on board of the Falcon, actually flying into the atmosphere of this unknown world, and the location of Luke's training temple, where his new generation of Jedi actually reside. So this is the moment in which both Leia and Han are dropping off their son Ben Solo to Leia's brother Luke Skywalker, the Jedi Master. So this to me would not only explain, alright, the whole entire sequence in The Force Awakens where Leia's telling Han, you know, I never should have sent him away, that's when I lost him, that's when I lost you both. You know, that very known line in The Force Awakens. Now, this sequence would truly expand that little piece of dialogue between both Han and Leia in Episode 7, and kind of give us a nice visual narrative of what actually really happened between all four characters, both Ben, Han, Leia, and Luke. Now, this world, we do know that as of right now, this world is very mysterious. We know little to nothing about it other than it does have one moon, it has a training temple, and it was kept a secret apart from Luke Skywalker's family. So, with that being said, if we look at the character of Luke Skywalker, it really does make one wonder, how long has he been on this planet, and how long has this training temple been in place? And exactly when did Ben Solo actually begin training with the character of Luke Skywalker? So I think that what J.J. Abrams is trying to do is that he does indeed recognize that a lot of fans were very upset that we did not get to see the reunion between these two big characters, both Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. We never got to see this on the big screen in the sequel trilogy, let alone all three characters being together on the big screen once again, getting the band back together again, as Mark Hamill would say. That's one thing that Mark Hamill always wanted to see. It was one of his biggest wishes for the sequel trilogy, and they never delivered, which honestly I thought was a crucial mistake in this sequel trilogy, and it kind of made the legacy characters just feel like, I don't know, like separate characters almost, as if they didn't know each other in episode 7. So that's one thing that I think that they have to work on, is that they have to actually find a way to do this. Now, how are they going to do this? Is this going to be used by unused footage from The Force Awakens? It could very well be, and like I said, we have heard about this before many years ago, so it could be that same exact sequence. Or they could be refilming it and kind of just reshooting the whole entire thing. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.